I'm a few minutes early. Yeah. I'll go over all the pieces here at 9. Hi friends, what's up? I'm so happy to be on here. Exciting. Let me start. So the way I'm going to get around this private archive thing, I'm just recording on a side camera here over my shoulder. That's all I can think to do. And then I'll not edit it, but I'll still upload it. I got to figure out like a little beginning cute thing, you know? What do you call that? Title. Okay, that's going. I was just checking an intro. Thanks, Kayla. I'm just checking my edge paint. I edge painted these. Totally not necessary for your strap connectors, but we extra. You know how we do. So I just burn the edges with a lighter so the fluffy doesn't show. Hi! And yeah. So we have 2 of these strap connectors. I think that's what they're called. Anyhow. This is going to be our little edge on our strap as well. I also edge painted it since I'm making it for a bestie. Let me just make sure. So today we're going to sew up the clear Mav Pack. What time is it? I have no clock, so that's cool. I have my iPad. 8:58. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Looks like we have 5 friends. I'll go over the pieces we have. So we're going to do the clear version of the Mav Pack by Lynn's. We have a front and a back, identical. I'm not going to do the extra zipper on the inside. I just wouldn't use it. It'd probably be sticky. I don't know. I'm going to use this cute Albums clear vinyl from Fabric Therapy. So that's our front and our back. 2 of those. We went over, we have the strap connectors. This is my exterior gusset bottom. And then I have a lining as well. This is going to be a more subdued, very neutral, chic Mav Pack. Not my normal style, but I'm excited to do it. So we have our zipper panel, exterior, interior, and this is the Sienna clay from Mormino. It's amazing. This is just from wherever. It's the cheapy waterproof canvas from fabric.com with a thick plastic backing. Also, on my gusset, I went ahead and put some Therafuse. I like my gusset to be a little bit more sturdy. The last clear one I made is that MMK vinyl used on. I don't know why your comments kind of cut off. This is from Mormino. I like my gusset to be a little bit more structured on the bottom. The last clear one I made, it didn't have any, and so I wished I had done that. Let me just check on my camera. Hold on. Are you still recording, friend? I'm not recording. My card's full. Fun. So we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna have to wait till I get 1,000 subscribers to unlock it, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna bind. So I'm gonna use Mormino's waterproof bag binding. I love it. I got this Zipper Valley 1.5 inch wide webbing to go with the little daisies on here. Cute. And so you have to do 2 parts. You cut off a section for that. I got a little Mormino tag. I use those on my straps. I'll show you. We're doing antique brass or bronze hardware. We got our strap topper, our D-ring anchor. I think that's all we needed, hopefully. I think so. And this cute, I got this from Bedazzled. I thought it matched so good. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. So I'm gonna wait to make my strap till the end just because I want my edge painting to dry all the way. Normally I would not wait, but today we are waiting. I'm sewing with a Juki 1181N. I'm using some Amon, let's see, Tex 90 thread. It's like in a beige, so let's go ahead and get started. First I'm gonna do my topper and my D-ring anchor. Let's actually do both of our D-rings. Okay. These out of the way. So let's go ahead and just take our, hi Stacy. Thanks for joining. Thought this would be fun. We gotta get 1,000 subscribers to unlock this video after from my private archive. I tried to record on a separate camera, but it died. Its memory card is full. Sorry. It's the way the cookie crumbles. All right. So I'm just putting my 1-inch webbing into my connectors and just basting the edge here. Basted. Now let's do our D-ring anchor. So you're gonna fold it. Okay, I will try that. Thank you so much. I will try that for sure because I was so bummed when you two told me that. Anyways, okay, right sides together, and you're gonna put this, one of your D-ring connectors right in there, okay? And you can't butt it all the way up to this seam because of the actual hardware in there. It pushes it out a little bit, but it's fine. Just go with that. Keep it about a 1/2 inch out. And then we're gonna sew down this edge, 1/4 inch seam allowance. I like to use 4.5 for my stitch length when I attach things, and I top stitch at a 5, so that's just me. So let's go ahead and sew down it. I'm just gonna double check that that is good. Go ahead and trim your corners here. And then flip it. And I use a corner poking tool, just poke out your corner a little bit. Now we're gonna top stitch. So make sure you're mindful if your bag is being made for a right or a left-handed person. I have made one for a left-handed person, and so I think generally the consensus was the pattern tells you to put it on the right or the left. Let me see. I'm just gonna do it for a right-handed person because I'm pretty sure, Nancy, are you right-handed? I'm pretty sure you are. Let's see. So the pattern says to put it on my left-hand side. Okay, so just be mindful of that when you're going to top stitch. You want it to point up when it's on that side. So I top stitch on this side. So let's go ahead and top stitch that. I don't backstitch usually. Okay. I'm just hand cranking to get close to this corner because it kind of is uneven. And we're just gonna double check. Yep, that's right in the corner. And then Buzz, I'm gonna hand crank past the D-ring anchor because it kind of, see, it started right there. Just to make my stitches even. Let me see if I can. Oh my gosh, sorry, here we go. I'm missing all these. Hello everybody. I'm missing a lot of these comments. Okay. Am I going to top stitch the zipper? So I was on a path to find a way to make it to where the zipper on the clear vinyls can pop out nicely without having to like fold in and be kind of wonky on the tops. And so Teak over at Walking Beauty, she actually top stitched on the zipper because she used a nylon zipper. The last clear Mav I made on my Instagram, I had used a clear zipper, and so that's like vinyl itself. So I thought it would, I think that that's why mine came out so good rounded, was because I had that vinyl, clear vinyl on my zipper that was strong enough to push out. So then we were trying to figure out a way to make it to where the nylon zippers were in. Teak, she top stitched on top of the zipper with the clear under there. I'll show you. I was gonna do that. I don't think I'm gonna actually do that. I'm gonna still bind it and see how it looks. If it looks horrible, I'll have to make another one for Nancy, but okay, here's our top stitched connector. So we can kind of clip that in place. You want to line it up till right before it curves on the bottom on your back panel. For me, it doesn't matter. They're both the same. So now let's do our topper. And you're basically just going to put these right sides together and pop your last D-ring connector you have in there. Now, one thing I did that actually helps keep these pieces together, just put a little 1/8 inch wide double-sided tape, and you won't see it because your seam allowance is 1/4 inch, so use some 1/8 inch wide. So we'll go ahead and center our D-ring connector up here. Leave about a 1/2 inch overhang again. Okay, and we can peel off these papers and lay them right sides together, both of these strap topper pieces. Try to line it up well. If you have any questions, let me know. Hi, good morning. I don't know why they just don't show me. I wish they'd pop up on my screen. I guess I'm used to Instagram. Okay, so we're gonna sew this on now with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Be careful when you're coming up on your hardware right here and your actual webbing. It should be okay though. I haven't really had issues with this piece. It's just with that. D-ring anchor. Okay. Now let's buzz across the top. Make sure your webbing's straight. I like to backstitch on the actual webbing when I'm attaching pieces. All right, now here's where you got to be a little bit careful coming back down. It should be okay though. Now cut your corners. Or trimming them, I should say. Especially up here. Okay. See how it's like that? So just take your corner tool, any kind of pokey thing will work. You don't gotta buy a fancy thing. And you're just gonna poke it out. This sienna clay vinyl from Mormino is kind of stretchy, which is helpful on this. See how much better that looks? Let's do this side too. I'm just kind of like running it along the seam line on both sides of the seam allowance until I can poke it out. Don't push too hard because you don't want to push through your corner, but there, you can see how that looks better. So now we're going to top stitch this. And I'm going to try my hardest not to make this too long because I talk too much, I think is my issue. Here we go. And whenever my machine kind of struggles to go through stuff, like when you're going through webbing and all that, I just hand crank. It works for me pretty much all the time. You can also use like a clamp and push down on those corners if your machine has trouble with corners or bulk, really. Okay. So this is our strap topper. Nice. So you're gonna line that up. You see how there's this little flat part on the top? You're gonna line this up in the middle, okay? Your nicer stitch side, if you have one, should be facing up. I mean, you will see both sides pretty much, but if you liked one over the other, go ahead and do that. So we're gonna baste these on. Basting is the 1/8 inch seam allowance, just in case you didn't know. And I did back stitch. Go ahead and baste on this one. Hi, welcome. Oh, dang it. How can I just see it? There we go. I love that webbing. I'm definitely gonna get some. Yes, Zipper Valley, man, she's got some cute ones. On my Instagram stories, I had a mail opening I had just got from her. It's so good. I really do like all her stuff. We vibe on the same wavelength. Although I'm more of a wild child when it comes to colors. Today I'm being more neutrals because Nancy likes neutrals. All right. So if you have any overhang, go ahead and trim it. I have just a smidge. Okay. We have that done. Now we're gonna do our gusset. This is ready to be attached to something. Okay, time for the zipper panels. So you're gonna take your lining right side up. I like to put double-sided tape down the edge of it. A lot of patterns you'll see when you do zippers, they want you to baste on one side and then line up the other side and then sew that at your full zipper seam allowance. I will tell you, I've noticed that that gives more waviness to my zippers when I sew. So I just stick all the stuff together with double-sided tape and then just sew my seam allowance for my zipper. So we're gonna put our zipper tape down right side up on top of that. So we're just gonna use the tape, line it up, and your zipper tape is just as wide as your lining zipper panel, so it should have no issues. My zipper pull is not on yet, just because it does make it a little bit more precise at the area with the zipper pull, in my opinion. But I'm going to put double-sided tape down on top of my zipper at that same edge, and then we're going to put our exterior zipper panel right side down. Okay? we'll put our zipper pull on after this. And the way I like to attach this is we're going to attach our back to our gusset first, and then we'll put on the front. There's no rhyme or reason, it just seems easier to me. Okay. Now on this Mav Pack, I have modified the zipper to be 2 inches longer. I have larger hands, and so reaching into the normal standard zipper size she has on her original pattern was just a little too small for my hand. So I added 2 inches to the zipper and the zipper panel, including the interior if you're doing an interior. And then on the gusset and the gusset lining, I subtracted 2 inches. Everything ends up working out just dandy that way. I've made a few successfully. And on my, this is my clear template, so I can do fussy cutting. I moved down my points for where the zippers attach 1 inch on each side. So it's an option. Works great. Okay, now we're gonna sew this on at our seam allowance of 1/4 inch. I'm gonna switch to my zipper foot. And I cannot wait to get my hands on that skinny foot that Mormino is gonna be coming out with soon. Well, maybe not soon, but in a while, whenever she comes out with it. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be great, because then maybe I don't have to change to my zipper foot. Okay, we're gonna sew at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Make sure everything's lined up well. And I'm gonna do it at 4.5 again. When I attach things, I do 4.5. In my brain, it works. And I did backstitch. I usually backstitch when I attach things. And you can see I'm not a very fast sewist. I'm pretty accurate though, so I guess what I lack in speed, it doesn't really matter though. Okay. So now we are going to flip these. Good morning, Cynthia. It's a rainy day here in Las Vegas. We have no sun even. Wow. That's unusual. But alas, that's what we're doing. Okay, since this is waterproof canvas and vinyl, I'm not gonna, you could iron on the waterproof canvas side, but I'm not gonna even worry about it, honestly. Since this sienna clay is a little bit thicker, you just kind of have to watch out for your lining to go all the way out. You might want to pull the lining and then you'll have like too much. Just try to do it evenly pulled away from the zipper for top stitching. I'm just finger pressing. Okay. So now we're going to top stitch. And I'm going to switch my foot back to my normal one because I like to top stitch with it. I don't know why, but I do. I wish this thing had like flip down feet, like flip up, flip down. We want this one now. That would be nice. That's my only complaint about this machine is changing feet is annoying. Okay, let's go ahead and top stitch. Let me make sure. You never have the patience to baste the zipper on first. Yeah, same. It just makes it also like just wavy for me, but my tension's pretty high, my pressure. And what was the other one? Someone said it's cold, rainy day in Florida today too. Rainy here in Cali also. Yeah, it's not nuts. I don't know. At least it's not snowing. We've had snow 3 times here this year already in Las Vegas. I remember my entire, I'm 35, almost 36. My entire childhood it snowed twice. So, global warming's real. Vegas that many times is nuts. I know, it really is crazy, honestly. We haven't had an earthquake knock on wood in a while, so that's good at least. All right, there's that. Let's go ahead and get our zipper pull and put that on. I like to save all my little packages if I can. And when I get a big bag, I send it to Lauren at Molino. I'm starting a new bag. Okay, put your zipper pull on from the right to the left. Okay, if you're looking at it, you're going to put it on from your right to your left. I don't know if this is like mirrored for you or how that looks, but I don't have any fancy tools. I just kind of pull it apart a little, and then I put it on one side and I line up the top of the tape with the top of the pole, okay? And just kind of hold it there with my fingers. And then I take this little guy and I kind of mush him in there. And then I'll straighten out my pole until the tape is totally straight. Okay? And then I'm going to push down. And if it's not even when I pull this down, son of a gun. Add it to the blooper reel. Let's see. What am I doing? What did you say, Erin? Your clear strike just got there. Oh, send me a picture, Kayla. Just had a nor'easter last night here in Massachusetts. Wow. You live in Connecticut and you barely had any snow? Wow. What are you using for the lining? Okay, I'm just pulling this down. See how it's still straight on the top? That's how I know it's good. We're just going to pull it out to the middle. Boop. For the lining, I am using waterproof canvas. Vinyl on the outside. On my main gusset bottom, I did put Therafuse. Fusible fleece would work good too. Therafuse is a little bit thinner, but still strong. So this will be my lining on this one. There won't be a lining for the front or the back because they're clear. Okay, now we're going to attach the gusset. So put your lining right side up, and you're going to take your zipper panel right side up and line it up in the bottom left-hand corner, okay? You can use double-sided tape. I'm going to personally, because I'm not going to, no. I almost made the same mistake, okay? Just line up the edges here. Caught myself. I'm so proud. I don't know why I think that's a step. Okay, so lining right side up, put your zipper panel right side up so that the linings are right sides together. Okay, and then put your exterior gusset right side down. Make a little Sammy. Line him up well. And then you can use double-sided tape at this step, but I'm not gonna. Now we're gonna sew this together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then pull them away and top stitch. We're top stitching at an 1/8. That's normally what you top stitch at, is an 1/8 inch. Line up your exterior and your linings at the ends here. Make sure it's not like one going cattywampus. Okay. Now you can top stitch. All right, and repeat for the other side. I was happy it rained today because then I didn't have to water my grass. We have really strict watering restrictions in Las Vegas because we're a desert, and I still have grass, so they only let me water it once a week with my sprinklers at this time of year. But my grass doesn't want one time a week, so I got a little break today from that. All right, 1/4 inch seam allowance. We're attaching the other end. I should show you that a little better, just in case. So you're gonna flip this bottom right side down. Here's the lining, right side down, okay? Line them up real nice. And then 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay. And you're gonna pull these away and top stitch again. It'll be a little bit awkward, but you can do it. And you're gonna think like, oh no, my lining is too baggy. It's not, I promise. I promise. Just go with it. Pull it away from there as much as you can, and then you can top stitch. All right, now we're gonna baste the sides. We're basting the exterior and interior together. So we're only gonna baste on this side that's open, okay? And then we'll baste on both sides on the bottom part. And your bottom and your top should be pretty the same. If they're not, my last one I made that was clear, my bottom was a little bit wider, so I just trimmed it and it was fine. Okay, just kind of trim it up. So let's go ahead and top stitch this. We're gonna top stitch from the inside, the lining, and just make sure they're kind of lined up. You don't have your lining, you know, going askew, but we'll just baste this. I think I said top stitch, I meant baste. But you're gonna do it at 1/8 inch away from the edge. It just makes it easier when we attach this to the front and back panels. And don't stop on the one side at your zipper. Don't keep going on the zipper. I mean, I guess you could, but it might compromise your integrity. And see, now you can see it's just fine on this edge, even though it was a little bit bigger, okay? Just dandy. Now we can do the other side and we can go all the way around and zip on this top zipper panel part, okay? All right, I'm up to the zipper panel, so we're gonna keep going. You can have so many questions. I do not care. Questions are totally, I was gonna be a teacher before I decided to be a court reporter. Am I basting? Yes. To keep the lining from slipping? Yeah, it's just, why do I do it? It just makes it easier when I'm attaching the front and the back to the gusset, because I don't have to worry about trying to line up that lining and the exterior like they're already one piece. They've come together. That just makes it easier for that part. Like, do you have to do this? No, you could just rock it, you know? You be as wild as you want to be here. I'm gonna do it though. I don't like fighting with it. Not that you even would fight with it, because I don't do it that way. I just did this. I wonder if the pattern says to do this. I can't remember. Probably. Okay, so now we've got this cute little gusset ring. The lining is waterproof canvas. And it's that stuff with the thick backing, like the plastic PVC is what it's called, I think, backing. It's from like fabric.com during the pandemic era. You know, that's what I had. I literally had a tiny little scrap to match because I'm doing like neutrals. Okay, so now we have our whole thing. Now we're gonna want to mark our centers. Okay, line up your two little areas where the zipper panels are attached, right here, okay? Line it up and then just slowly fold it down. If your zipper's in the way, fold the zipper down, okay? Your zipper will mess up your measurement here. So lined up here, and then just slowly go up to the top. Oop, okay, and that's where we're gonna mark, right there. You're gonna mark on the outside and the inside. Okay, just a little tiny mark. If you're using a air erase marker, you can kind of see it and then flip it over. And I just do the littlest tiny dot. I don't know if the quality is good on this one. Instagram, it's not the best, but it's just my phone. Okay, so we did it on the zipper side. Now you need to do it on the back side here too. So just line up your seams and pull it tight. Okay, here you can do a little cut, a little triangle, if you will. And then I'll just take my pen and mark on the inside. Okay. Now we're gonna do the same on the bottom. Back and front, exterior and interior. And this is a kind of crucial step to get your zipper to be even and centered when we attach it. I also love this pattern because it doesn't take up too many materials and you can still, you know, satisfy your sewing need to use your pretty stuff without using it all, so you still have some left. Okay. Our gusset is prepared. Let's see if we have any questions. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Robert. Thanks for coming. Okay, so we got our back panel. I like to attach the back panel first. No rhyme or reason, that's just what I do. Really, when I made the Heartbreaker bag by K.S. Kona Designs, that kind of was when I was like, she said, put the back on first, then attach the front. And it's easier, and it is easier, so. Now we're gonna mark, if you have your pattern piece, you can mark your little sides where you can make sure these little folds can line up, and your top and bottom. I'm just gonna fold, well, now I guess I'll mark. So this is just a dollar store cutting mat, and I traced my pattern piece onto it. Sorry. And then I can fussy cut. I'm sure most of you know that. Mark your sides here, and mine are a little bit lower because of adding 2 inches to my zipper. I don't know, that doesn't look totally straight in the middle. Okay. And I really would recommend putting these side marks on there to line up where that seam is, because I didn't do it on the last one. It was a little bit hard to like get it done. I got it done, but it was harder than it needed to be, I think. I'm just making sure on this top one. Yeah, about right here. Okay. So that's good. Now we can start attaching. Flip this guy. Good morning, welcome. We're at the part where we're attaching the gusset. We're about halfway, I think. Okay, Robert wants to know, did I cut the templates by hand or cutting machine? I did it by hand. I love SVGs, I really do, especially when I'm making applique. But it's kind of a pain for me to pull out my Cricut and then, you know, turn my computer, open the software, upload the stuff, you know, all that jazz. And then I got it, like, is my mat sticky enough? Crap, I never bought more mats. I really needed more mats. Stuff like that. So for me, it's easier just to hand cut. That's what I do. You adjusted the marks because you added 2 inches to your zipper, right? Yes, that's what I did. So this mark up here is the original mark from the pattern piece where your regular zipper, that's 2 inches less than what I have, would be. But since I added 2 inches to make it even, I added an inch lower on each side because I just wanted mine to open a little bit wider because I have larger hands. I've made it the way she had it as well, which is great, but it just works better for my body. Oh, you almost missed the live. Well, I'm glad you made it. I'm trying to figure out how to upload this after. I don't have 1,000 followers, so we have to get some followers. We need some more followers. I'm trying to avoid edited videos. I know everybody loves them, but editing a video seems like a nightmare. But I do have my brother, so we can try and get him in here. Okay, Monica says she uses the plastic mats too. If you have a Cricut, you can use the SVG. Yep. Nancy is trying to do a cute screen grab. Did you get it? Okay. Now, we're going to take our... You're probably going to get a funny one. That's fine. That's fine. Take our bottom center mark, okay, for the bottom gusset part. Or you can start on the top. Oh, no, I'm on the top. This is the zipper. So our center mark on the back part of it, not the part with the zipper, we're going to line that up with the center mark we marked here. Okay. You start. This is where you start. I don't unzip my zipper. I don't know. I just don't. And I'm going to sew. It's not that bad to edit. It isn't, Tori? Well, maybe I need to FaceTime you. You're willing to help me, Tori? I'll pay you. That's the one part I'm just like, ugh. I record stuff. I just don't. All right. The bottom center mark to the bottom gusset center mark, okay? Line those bad boys up. Try to be as precise as possible. I'm putting my clips where the bottom... Okay, I'll bug you on Instagram. I put the bottom part over here because the way I sew it is like this. We're going to... I got you, Tori, I know. We're going to zoom through like this, okay? This is how we're going to zoom through. I don't do this. I don't do this. Easier to get wrinkles. And I'm a little OCD about those wrinkles. Oh, poo. Did I lose my center? Okay, here we go. All right, now our side mark is going to line up to this seam right here, okay? And it should be perfect because you should have, this is the seam from the gusset, and this is our connector. And see how they butt up right next to each other? Perfect, right? Less bulk. We like that. Now let's do the other side, which I can't find my mark. Isn't that dumb? What happened to you, Mark? I'll get another one. Oh, it's right by the daisy. Oh, I can kind of see the mark now. All right. I thought this was, it's a Sharpie pen, but I guess it's not Sharpie enough. All right, now mark, line up these other sides with the seam. Okay. There you go. So this is what we have so far. Treat the recordings like alive. Okay. Hello. I'm not fancy, if you know. I'm just me. Now we're going to go down these straight parts and just connect it, okay? We're just lining them up and putting some clips. You could staple. Are you a stapler? Do you love stapling? I don't. I don't staple. Remember, this is, it doesn't have to be perfect. Easier said than done, but. All right, we got some connections down our straight sides. Now let's go down our straight bottom. Pull this out. Okay. So what we're going to do first is baste. Add an 1/8 inch seam allowance. This helps from the shifting when we're doing the binding. Okay. So now we got to do these corners and connect them. I kind of just go to the center. You can see here. I kind of push down to the center. Okay. And just try to kind of tuck it into that gusset. Is it a little bit of a wave? For sure. A little bit. It's okay because when you're actually sewing around the curve, it'll relax. And this is a baste, right? Now, I'm not saying get crazy and have wrinkles galore. We don't want that. But that's kind of how I do it. So I pull it out of the middle and push this down in the middle, okay? Just kind of, you kind of want even wrinkles on each side of your middle there, okay? And thankfully, this vinyl from Lauren at Mormino, it's a little bit stretchier. Robert and I were talking about this yesterday, and It is a little bit stretchier, but not so much so that you're going to have distortion. But it is kind of nice when you do a curve, right? A little bit of give. It's beautiful. All right, we're just lining up these edges here. Okay. Now let's do the top on the zipper. So I'll kind of put it in the middle here on this curve and put a clip there. And then I kind of just evenly clip around. I think I missed something. Let's see. Do you trace your pattern pieces into clear cutting mats? Yes, yeah, I do. I only do it on the part though that I'm like gonna want a fussy cut, like a front panel, just so I can see through there. I have just started buying the clear templates, the acrylic ones. Whoa, game changer. I bought one from Tops and Bobbins, the Erica Bowler bag. It's amazing. And then I also got the Book Bestie from Carolina Little Stitches. Acrylic templates. Great. Alright, we pretty much got these attached here. Now, when I'm sewing, I know that this is flat up here. That is just the way the pattern piece is. And I get why it's like that because of this topper. But I still just kind of treat it like a curve. And I think that that helps with keeping that front panel zipper nice and round. I've seen some people struggle and have it more, you know, especially the top, and it's like more straight because I think they literally just went straight. But I'm gonna treat it like it's a curve. Yeah, I want templates too. I mean, they're expensive, so it's a treat when I get one. I get one where I'm like, I'm literally gonna make a bajillion of these. Like, I just saw Tops and Bobbins release the Mav Pack ones, and you can get like the more simpler ones for like 25 bucks. It has a little less pieces. I don't really know the difference between like what pieces it is exactly, but the one that's like all the pieces was like 45, which I was like, oh, I can do that. But the Erica Bowler was, I think, a little over 100 for me, but I was like, ooh, it's an investment for sure. All right, now we're going to attach this at a baste. 1/8 inch seam allowance. Keep your seam length at your attach, like your smaller one, not your top stitch length, even though we are doing a baste. What else can I tell you? Hemostats are your best friend, okay? These, you really should use these when you're doing gussets and curves. So we're gonna start at a straightaway, okay? We're not gonna start on a curve to baste. We're gonna start like probably right here. I'm not gonna start where there's a seam or where there's my little D-ring connector guy. We're not starting there. Nope. We're gonna start over here. And like I said, this is how we're sewing. Our foot will come on the inside of this, and we'll keep these as we go to hold everything together, okay? I debated moving you guys so you can see this part. Should I move you? Do you want to be moved? Oh, let me see. Hi, Heather. Book Bestie templates will be available Friday. She's releasing them Friday. And what I love Tops and Bobbins. Their colors aren't my favorite. And Kayla has fun colors, I'm hoping. She's made fun colors on other things, so I don't see why she wouldn't offer that option. But like glitter, I'm sold. Anything glitter is mine. All right, Savannah. Oh, thanks, Savannah. Oh, okay, so Robert modifies things, so the templates don't always work. Yeah, you'd have to maybe, yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Unless you had a laser cutter, you could do it yourself. Okay, Nancy, you're sending me rainbow ones? Can they just be longer though? Because I got these big hands, and those little tiny ones, I'm like... I know it doesn't appear I have large hands, but I really do. I'm tall. Okay, what are they called again? These? Okay, I'm gonna move y'all. These are called, Diana, these are called, oh shit, what are they called? Somebody, can you say it? I forgot already. I had the name. I'm nervous, so I forgot. Hemostats. Got got it. Okay, I'm gonna move you. So if you're a person that gets motion sickness, please put the phone down for a few seconds, okay? First, I'm gonna take a drink. Look at this cool cup. They're curved. These ones are straight. I'll try it. I got this from Perlita's Creations. She makes really, it has a zipper pull on it. Oh, stop. She'll be proud I used it. I love her cups, but every time I come on live, I'm not drinking out of one. She probably thinks like, what the heck? But anyways, here we go. We're moving. It's your warning. Clear pink, fluorescent green, and what else are you doing? It cut me off. Okay, here we go. I think I'm gonna have to unplug my power. Don't want to give you a peep show here. Definitely wouldn't be appropriate. Okay. Here we go. Oh, that's good. That's good. Let's see if we can get even closer. Let's move the lighty light. Oh, that's good. Okay, that's what we'll do. That might even be better for lives in general. Okay. So I have my regular foot on, not a zipper. Peep show. Hey, Tammy, what's up, girlfriend? I wonder if I should charge my phone. I think we'll be okay. All right. So like I said, we're going to start on the straightaway, not where this seam is, okay? Don't do that to yourself. Grab your hemostats. These are your best friend for gussets and curves, I'm telling you. It makes a difference, a huge difference. All right, I'm just going to unhook one of my clips. And I'm using my foot lift with my knee. And remember, we're just doing an 1/8. And this won't really affect the shape of your bag too much on this part, but you still should make sure your edges are lining up at least, okay? The next step is where our bag shape comes in. All right, I'm gonna go back down to, okay, I'm already at a 4.5. Just get a stitch in. I'm gonna back stitch since I'm like attaching. All right. Go ahead and use your hemostats and pull your edge out, okay? And then you just kind of clamp them together. You see how it just holds it for you? And it's tedious because we're only gonna do a couple steps and then undo it and then re-clip them, but it'll be worth it. Okay, so now we're keep needle down. Undo these guys, okay? Pull them out and then just shift them down. You can put them like right in front of your clip or wherever. Just don't go too far. You're gonna do smaller chunks at a time. Okay. Are you a clip person? Like you just throw all your clips? The curved ones work better? Curved hemostats work better. Robert says that. I believe Robert, so I gotta get them. So, I forgot what I was saying. That's a shame. I had meningitis quite a few years ago now, but it kind of makes my brain forget stuff. Okay, on these curves, make sure you're clipping up pull out your exterior and clip them down, okay? And you can use your hand. Can you see my fingers down here wiggling? Oh, clip, yeah. Do you throw your clips on here? You put them away as you go? I put them away as I go, usually. Anyways, back to this. Your hand right here can kind of help support, okay? And push and hold in place. Use your hand, especially when we get to this bottom curve. She's a tricky girl down here. Okay. Clipped again, and we're just gonna do a couple. And you can hand crank, okay? Hand cranking is okay. I'm gonna unclip this guy. Take your hemostats, move it just a little bit, especially on the curve part because of this tighter corner down here. Okay, and I'm just pulling on my gusset right here. I'm pulling on it as I go so I don't get a wrinkle. And so basically, essentially, you will go around 3 times on each side doing the way I do it. dry, but it really comes for a nice finish. Okay, clip and move down just a little. The thing I like about this sienna clay too, and also like the shell clay, and I forget what the purple one's called she has, it's like a muted purple. It doesn't, I don't seem to get wrinkles as much since it is a little bit more stretchier and thicker. I don't know. It's one of my favorite vinyls to sew with, honestly. It's a good neutral too. All right, now we're coming down to this curve, and the same thing, you could even just take your clips and move them down a little bit. See how there's a, I don't know if you're close enough to see that, but there is a tiny bit of a wrinkle right here, like a bump. That's okay, just pull your bottom out and then use your hemostats to clip it together. And as you're running through the curve, it'll pretty much even out, okay? You can also hand crank. This is the hardest part, I think, personally, is these two bottom curves. And you're really just trying to get your vinyl as close as you can, even the edges. Mine don't, though. I always end up trimming a little bit. Okay, we're gonna move that a little bit again. And I just kind of rotated and flipped down the gusset as we're going around the curve here. Now, there's too much of an overhang here, so I'm gonna pull up my needle and pull it out, and I'm gonna try again on that curve because that will end up being an uneven. Do you see how much it is? That's too much. That's too much. We gotta undo that a little bit. So I'm just pulling out the stitches a little bit here. You won't see these, so just pull them out. And try again. Actually, it might even be easier if you do this part from here, from above, but you really do run the risk of getting a wrinkle. Okay, I'm gonna clip it again. Just try again. Okay, sorry if I bumped you. All right, I got my hemostats and I'm clipping. You can back stitch here. I started back a ways where my thread was. Okay. Pull out that bottom gusset and pull forward this. It's a little finicky, but you can get it if you take your time. And like I said, you will have a little bit of overhang on this bottom curve with your back panel because it just, I think the curve is too small for a normal, maybe if you had one of those really nice cylinder arm machines, you could be okay, but I don't. Okay, I kind of went a little off here, but that's all right. We'll just trim it. And I'm pushing the back panel with my fingers from the opposite side to just kind of make sure it stays even with the edge here. I'll check comments in just a second if you want to ask a question. And I'm literally just pulling down on this as I go around the curve. I think that it helps with the smoothness of the curve. And I'm doing that with the hand that's inside. Just lining up the edges here and then using my hemostats to clip it. Now something we're gonna try when we're attaching the zipper to the front, since the zipper we're using as a nylon zipper, we're gonna try a little experiment together because I want to see if this will help that front panel lay nice. Okay. Oops. So my finger is like right here, pulling down as I go to help it all stay. Nice. I debated even putting a piece of Therafuse on my zipper panel gusset, but I didn't do it this time because I did this with Kayla's, although hers wasn't clear front or back, but I don't think I put a piece of... All right, we're back to the front, back stitch. All right, now we're gonna check before we go on how it looks. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Look at those curves, they're good. There's no, here we go, maybe that helps you. There's no wrinkling. It looks pretty dang good. And that's just our baste, so. Now we're gonna get our binding. First I'm gonna trim. You see where the corners are here? The clear one over, trim that down. You want everything flush with the edge if you can. Okay, I got a little bit up here, trim all that down. Because what's gonna happen is when we put our binding on, your binding is gonna have to fold over that, so you want it to kind of be even. The binding I'm using today is going to be Mormino's bag binding. It's just in black, which is lovely. It's only 1 inch wide, so again, we're not going to be able to double fold it where you won't see any raw edge, but it'll still be nice. Okay, there we go. I've trimmed up all these edges so they're pretty flush. Now we're going to get our binding. If you have a binding that has a right and a wrong side, you'll have to pay attention here. Let me check comments actually. I better stop. I squint so much. I've realized, like the granny squint, it's totally me. Use a stiletto. Yeah, this is better. It really holds things together. How do you measure your binding is what Erin asked me for the length. Well, I kind of don't until I'm almost around. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to start over here where there's not a seam again, okay? Kind of down on the side. And if you had a right and a wrong side to your binding, like for example, this is my normal woven binding that I like to use because I can kind of stretch it around curves. This is 1 1/4 inch wide, I think. No, 1 1/2. 1 1/2 is the perfect width, I think, but this is only 1, so anyways, I digress. You're gonna put your right side down, okay? If you have like this kind of binding. This one, it doesn't really matter because it's the same on both, but you will want to take your edge and fold it over like, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch, okay? And the fold is going to be on top. This raw edge will be on top. And then line it up with the edge here, okay? Clip. And then we're just going to pull it and just clip around. Also making sure the flat back is out, okay? Because we're going to do the curve sewing the same. Just kind of push it in this corner. I'm not an exact perfect science type of binding sewer. I mean, I think mine looks decent. It's not like 1000% perfect at all. But I'm like, it's really just a spine for your bag. People aren't really gonna look that closely, in my opinion. So we're just gonna go around here. So this is the seam, this is the sewing that counts that we're about to do. This will determine the shape of your bag. So take your time and go slow. It's nice because we basted everything, so you shouldn't have slippage, okay? You just have to watch out for wrinkles on these bottom curves. That's it. Because we did that based one, even though it was annoying, it really helps us on the seam that counts, okay? So now I'm coming around to where I started, and I'm gonna go until I'm about, probably a 1/2 inch over where I started, okay? It doesn't have to be exact, it just needs to be covered by this, okay? Go past this one. I'm gonna heat seal. This stuff is just like ribbon, a little thinner, but I'm just gonna seal it up. I haven't had any fraying issues with it. Okay, there we go. So now that's done. That's how I do it, Erin. All right, Dina asks, do you think Lauren's binding would be domestic friendly? Definitely, most definitely. She told me the printed bindings are a little thinner than the solid color. So you might want to get the printed one just to test it out. I don't know if she has any in stock on there, but I think you could do this one too, for sure. Definitely. And if you're using the TPU clear, it's not that thick. You could do a clear panel. I think, and then with this, you'd be fine. Also, this brown on my fingers is edge paint. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. Okay. We gotta get our bestie, our sewing bestie tool. All right, now when we start sewing, do not start sewing where these two edges attach, okay? Where they meet up, don't do that because we want to keep this one to have a little give so we don't get a wrinkle here. Yeah, I have tons. I only use, I'm using Lauren's because it's black and it matches my more neutral theme, but I have hot pink, bright purple. There's some other colors over there. Yeah. Also, Nancy and Tammy did that Luxe bound, the striped stuff. It's amazing. I ran out of black and white because that's honestly what I probably would have used. But okay, back to what I was saying. Sorry. This, we're going to start over here, but not where they connect, okay? Because we're going to need this guy loose so he can adjust as we get, maybe, you know, this needs to move down. So start down here a little bit. And we're going to do a 1/4 inch. I'm not going to sew this at a 3/8 inch. I don't remember if she does or not. I think she does, but 1/4 inch is all I do for any bag on any gusset. At this step, I always do a 1/4 inch, which is the edge of my foot. So at this point, you're not really having to use your hand on the inside to keep the edges lined up because we basted, but you'll use it to make sure you're not going to get a wrinkle. So we're just gonna, sorry, here, I just want to backstitch. Okay, now we can zip down at a 1/4 inch. Just watch for wrinkles on these bottom curves, okay? Remember, this is determining the shape of your bag, this stitch round. So when we're coming around this bend, kind of pull your binding out of the way. I'm sorry if you hear banging. They're like constructing the rocks and stuff out there now. Cool. Rightio, soldier. Okay, use your hemostats to hold that edge on this curve. Oop. See, you got a little crazy. It's okay. I'm gonna lift my foot. First, make sure you're I'm a mess. First, make sure your needle's down. And I'm going to lift my foot to tuck this binding back because I don't really want to wrinkle my binding if I can avoid it. Okay. And then pull this binding to the edge and clip it so that it can be nice. You're literally only going to get like 2 stitches at a time. And I'm pulling down on this gusset right here again as I'm going, feeling for that bottom curve to make sure it's not wrinkling, okay? I'll I did like 2. I'm gonna hand crank one more. And I'm just, my fingers are down in here pushing that vinyl flat so we don't get a wrinkle. Go ahead and use your hemostats and clip and then follow it around. On these straight edges, I don't actually like lock the hemostats. I just squeeze as if it were my fingers, you know, which is nice. It's kind of nice. Okay, a little over an hour. I'm a slow sewist, so if you're looking for something fast, you probably should go over to Lauren. Okay. We're coming around this little devil curve again. Needle down, foot up, tuck this binding out of the way. Clip the binding to the edge. And I'm making sure for those wrinkles again. Okay. Here we go. Okay, and I just pulled that down. See how that snapped down because it finally cleared back here? That's good. That's what you want. All right. Here we go. Don't keep your hemostats too far away when you're clipping down from where you're actually sewing at, because you could get shifting. And see, my binding's getting kind of tight, but it's okay because I can shift my binding down a little bit since I didn't sew down the end of the binding at the beginning of the stitch, if that makes sense. And pull around the curve because this is the okay, my binding is starting to get a little on the wild side, so I'm going to lift my foot and just push it out of the way. Okay, here's that. I'm going to unclip my binding all the way because I need a little extra, it was getting a little too tight like that where it was going straight across, and you don't want that because I don't know what that would do, but that's probably not good. Okay. But because we didn't attach this in the beginning, we have this little play we have now, this little extra room. Okay, good. Let me line this up and clip it again. It's easier if it's clipped for me. Some people can do binding without clipping, but I'm generally not one of those people. Just gonna kind of clip him out of the way. Not folded. There we go. Okay. There we go. You know who else sews fast is Saya. She sews fast. All right, here we go. Now make sure this fold here, he's folded, okay? He just came unfolded on me, but you really want it folded because it makes the finishing way better, okay? I'm gonna tuck him back down. There we go. I'll show you how it looks in a sec. Oops. All right, we're just gonna buzz down to the start where we started, back stitch. Okay. Now I will show you now at this stage, burn any threads you have that are sticking out because we're gonna fold over our binding and you don't want to see them popping out. And you can see inside of our Gusset still looks good. No wrinkles. Okay. You see up there? There we go. And the zipper is looking good. Yeah, everything looks great. Now we're gonna fold. And this is a point, maybe at these corners you want to trim down a little bit. Because of the corner, it'll be a little bit harder. And it's okay if you trim on this seam right here, our basting stitch, because we have this one now. That's our main stitch. I'm not trimming the bag binding. I'm only trimming the gusset and the panel. Okay? Just a little bit. It makes it easier to lay the binding over. Okay? Let me check if there's comments. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. It's just how I sew. These take me about 2.5 hours. If I batch sew, though, this is the part that takes forever. But all right, now we're gonna fold this over and see, because we added this really nice fold back here. That's what we'll see. Isn't that nice? Okay. So go ahead and fold everything to the back, and then add a little. We're gonna add clips to hold it. This stitch, we're gonna sew like right in the middle, because I like to see it. I like to see that stitch personally. And yeah, so just clip it down. You can see this is how it'll look on the back. And this is basically like the spine of our bag. And because we've sewn from the actual panel instead of like this, because we've sewn like this, it has a nice finish right here, which you would see from the outside. You wouldn't see the raw edge at all over here, right? Even if it's like a little bit longer. So just pull this tight. And then I'll still use my hemostats on this part, but it won't be as crazy as the first time. This binding is a little slippery because it's kind of like a ribbon, so you just gotta really make sure you pull it tight. Okay, there we go. On this one, it doesn't really matter where you start stitching. I probably would still just start on the side. We're just top stitching, so I'm going to change my stitch length to 5. I'm going to start where they fold over, where we have that little fold. And really make sure it's tucked well under there so you snatch it. Some people probably would want to top stitch right next to the seam, and you could do that. I'm not going to, because I want to make sure the back gets caught. And like I said, I like the decorative stitch. Okay, and so we're just going to sew in between the edge and our folded from the panel. And if you took your time and you folded everything well, you probably don't even need to use your hemostats. I'm just pulling with my hand on the inside around the curve. Like I said, this won't affect your shape at all. This is just decorative and to hold that down. Watch your fingers. I have almost sewed I have sewn through my finger, not on this machine. I used to have a Bernina, my very first machine I used for bag making. And I did sew through my finger, right down the middle. Hurt like a son of a gun. Alright, just double check your stuff's tucked well. Alright, let me move this. That might be in your way. Okay. Now right here where this topper is, it might try to fight you since it's thicker. But if you have issues with binding being too thick, like if you're using waterproof canvas, just use woven. A 1.5 inch strip of woven, and you'll do the same process, but except when instead of just folding over, you're gonna fold it under as well. Fold it over and tuck in that raw edge, and it's just, you know, then you can have fancy colors and prints. Just an option. I kind of almost like woven binding too because it's more stretchy around curves sometimes. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and trim these and burn our ends, singe our ends. So like I said, this is the side you'll see from the, okay, this side, you won't really see it. So don't worry about it if you can see your stitching, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and fold it out so you can see. Let's check it. Check it before we wreck it. Oh, it's nice. I can already tell. Perfect. And I like to kind of pull this binding to the back, right? Not the front, but the back. You kind of got to train it. It's really nice with this TPU because it's thinner. It's gorgeous. Like this seam right here, thick. She's thicker than a Snicker, okay? Kind of pull it back, train it. You could even get your pliers that press, you know, train it a little if you want. Pull these corners out. If you're wanting to pull your binding to your gusset. Thicker than a Snicker. And then look at that. That looks pretty dang good to me. Heck yeah. I'm sorry, Nancy, I might have to keep this one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm drowning in bags. Okay. But yet I have no bag. Isn't that funny? But do you see that? Oh, hi, friend. You schmixy. That's how we do it. Just like that. And I've had this same result on all bags with gussets. And I will give credit to Ora Rosa. Alexis taught me. And Jassy at Sophisticated Craft Designs, she hipped me to this. Her patterns. So there you go. Now we gotta flip it outside and do the front panel. Try it again. But it's really the same process we will do. Okay. You still should have your center markings. It should be faint, but it should still be there, you see? Just a little. Oh, sorry. I missed your comment. Erin, 1/4 inch seam allowance. Yep, that's all I do. I don't do 3/8 on anything. For gussets and curves if I can avoid it. Okay, let's put transfer our marks onto here. I'm just looking for my Sharpie. Somebody stole it. Dang, oh no they didn't. I almost blame my kids. Poor kids. Okay. There we go. So now we'll just line up. You can't really see it, but there is a mark, a Sharpie mark on here. Sharpie to center. Yep, that right there. So we're gonna sew the same way from the gusset, like that. Line up our side mark and our seam. Do you see the side mark? And that seam. That's what we're lining up. And after this, after we repeat the same process with the front, oh sorry, that's my doggy. We will make our strap. My paint should be dry. My edge paint. I'm gonna move this. go to the middle of this area that you're clipping down here, and then you can kind of even it out. Clip the middle and then go out and clip the sides. Now this is the part where, because it's a nylon zipper and then this vinyl, this TPU is like thicker, this is where I was seeing the issues for people's curves. So my last clear was okay because my zipper tape was clear zipper tape, so it was like a clear vinyl, and I think it pushed out sufficiently on the panel to not make it wonky, but I'm going to try something on this one when we attach the binding. Okay, so I'm going to shift this a little bit because I have a lot of extra. Have I tried to gusset with jelly? No, I haven't tried that yet. I try not to use my jelly because I don't have that much of it. I should though. But see, there's just a little bit too much extra here. So I'm going to just pull it around a little and shift this down. I'm going to give it a little bit more for up here on the zipper panel. And the reason I'm going to do that is because here it's kind of like barely attaching. So we're going to try that and see. Yeah, that's a little better. There. And then our corners not so crazy. Also, do you guys find you break these clips? I feel like I have like She-Hulk cans. I'm breaking them left and right. Like, dang, calm down. I haven't broken any today. That's a miracle. I'm shifting this side down too because I want to make it even. I don't want my front to be crooked. Okay, there we go. Now we can attach. Same process. Go back down to your attaching stitch length, your assembling stitch length. Now watch your zipper pull down here. I like to keep mine closed, my zipper, but watch this pull where you start. It might be in the way depending on how big your zipper pull is. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit out of the way. Yeah, me too. That's all right. They're cute though. All right, I'm just pulling this. So we're going to do the basting stitch, 1/8 inch. Okay. Make sure those are lined up. Okay, there we go. Clip it. I'm clipping it. I'm going to hold my tail so I don't get that nesting. I hate that nesting. Okay, pull him straight. So I can't put my hand in here, but I can kind of push from here since we have a little leeway, but you can get kind of rough, okay? This will not affect the shape of your bag so much. This isn't the one. This is just so crap can stay in place as you sew the one that does count. Okay, attached. Got it. That helped moving down my panel a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna hand crank so I don't run over my, let's see, I can go about there. Then clip, reclip down just a smidge. And I'm pulling this forward again as we're going around, because remember, we do not want that to get a wrinkle in there. Okay, hand crank even if you need to. Because if you get a wrinkle on the basting part, you're done for it. Now I'm gonna pull this bottom gusset this way. With my hand, I'm just gonna grab this corner and just kind of pull it out and straighten it, okay? And clip it, use our hemostats. Okay, boom diggity, here we go. Hold on to here again when we're about to get over there to our second curve. Sorry if my head's in the way. Let me just try to clip it down. It's always the second curve that gives me issue. Submit. It's submitting well, don't worry. It's just hard because my hand can't be on the inside, so pull that. There we go. I have some trimming to do on the corners. I always do though. I don't know. It's probably me, but it works out well in the end. Okay. Let's see. Love this vinyl. It's so cute, huh? With the little daisies especially. Since this TPU is thinner, I'm curious how it'll react with the zipper. With the tape, I mean. And the pushing out with the binding. I always keep a little notebook, and I write notes on patterns. Especially since I test patterns a lot. Like, oh, next time do this. And I try to reference it when I... Oh, I'm just trying to get this clear. I'm going to pull it out right now because it's my... Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. You can see here, my clear was just trying to come up too much. My back panel, well, front panel, I guess. So I'm just gonna pull it out a little bit, pull it back a little bit, I mean, and then clip it and re-go again. I must have been off a little bit when I clipped my thing, and I didn't have my hemostats on there good enough. Okay. Start back where you still have stitching, and like push it out of the way. Push your bag out of the way. You can be rough with it. It'll be fine. TPU has really good I'm just pulling it back a little bit more, my stitching. I really want that to be kind of flush. Clipped it. All right, now I can fold that down and go again. Okay. Make sure our center marks are still lined up since I had a little, yep. Really wish I could put my hand in here. needle down. I'm going to pull my zipper pull back down, especially because it's kind of a dangly one. Okay, here we go. Coming back around the bend. There we go. Okay, now we can go ahead and put our binding on. First, let's trim where all of our clear went over. Like these little corners. So that when we fold our binding over, it doesn't struggle having, like, imagine trying to fold binding over that. Yeah, that'd be a mess. Just trim it down. I'm going to trim down the panel up here at my zipper because it did go over a little bit. I'm wondering if it's because it's nylon. My last zipper was the clear vinyl zipper, so it stuck a little easier. You could add double stick tape to your zipper. Might be easier. Okay, let's get our binding again. So take it, fold the corner over, clip it down. There we go. The sun's coming out a little bit. I hope I got another one of these black bag bindings. I think I did. All right, we're gonna trim it past where we started. Then we can seal the edges. All right, 1/4 inch seam allowance. Remember, do not start. Let's go ahead and unzip that just a smidge so that's on the way. We're going to start right here, not like right after where the second one overlaps the end. 1/4 inch back stitch. Okay, remember this one affects the shape of the front, so it's even more important. I think because of that, I'm going to hand crank around the corner here. I'm just pushing my binding out of the way. It's trying to fold in front of my foot, and I don't want to sew over the other edge of it. All right. Just walking along here. Just gonna clip that and hold it. And I'm trying to rotate this gusset as I go back towards me. I'm pulling back towards me so I get 0 wrinkles if we can avoid it. And go ahead and kind of pull this out a little bit. Okay. Clipping it again. Walking around the edge. Okay, my needle's down. I'm going to lift my foot and just kind of press this out of the way. Okay. We're almost through this curve. I'm going to hand crank a few more times till it can straighten out. Okay. Now go and lift your foot and pull that kind of bout out of the way back there. Okay, there we go. Oh, that was a close one. This is another reason why it's good to use hemostat so you don't run your finger over. That would be tragic. And you couldn't sew for a while. I will say though, when I did sew through my finger, I literally got the pliers, pulled the needle out, and went about my life. I didn't go to the doctor. I was okay. But I do change my needle before every project, so I have like a little sharps container I keep all my used blades and needles in. Okay, here we go. This is always the nerve-wracking part. Let me see if anyone said anything. Jackie wants a live for the mustard seed wallet with a zipper on the back pocket. I can do that. Your 4-year-old doesn't believe I'm a real person. I'm real. Promise, I love macaroni and cheese. Just like every other human, mostly, I would think. Maybe not. Okay. There we go. This is looking nice. Okay, I'm coming up on my zipper pull. I'm going to pull my zipper pull back down. Get down there, son of a... Here we go. Okay. Line up and clip. This is a wonky workout for my wrist. Here we go. Okay, coming back around. Make sure your underneath one is folded. Mine is, so that's good. And back stitch. Yay! The hard part's over. Okay. Oh, come on. Here we go. Okay, now's the point you should singe any threads you got hanging over, just in case they don't make it underneath the binding. And then you don't have like straight threads popping through. Popping under. Let me see what you said here. Okay, do you think it's more important to sew the back panel and gusset first, or do you notice a difference? I think it's generally easier when you're attaching a zipper to a front or a back to attach the back first, instead of attaching this zipper part and then, but I don't know that it would honestly really make too much of a difference. But when I sewed the cart breaker, I did the back panel attached first, and it was easier, but we also had that crazy dip in the middle, so it's probably some of it. All right, fold her over. Tasha, she thought it was a video. And calling her out was hilarious. Haha. Yellow. Okay. I will say this 1-inch wide back binding is good though, because you're coming right up next to the zipper, you know? So we're gonna sew this down. We're just doing the stitch in the middle now, just for holding it down and how it looks. And when we flip it over, I'm gonna see how it reacts with the zipper, since it's nylon, and I might top stitch on there. Would I dare be that nuts? Probably. Let's see if it works without doing that first. That is how Walk-In Beauty, that's how she did it, and it was amazing. She got that nice, but I needed binding still, so I don't know if she did binding inside of hers. I don't know. Okay. Pull this. Get down there. Get down there. All right. I feel like I can breathe now because I got the hard stuff over with. Whew. Besides the top stitching on that strap, that's a little nerve-wracking. But we got this. We got this. All right, back to 5 for top stitch. Do a back stitch here. All right. Now just make sure everything's tucked well so you catch the back underneath. Okay. Yeah, and I just find it easier to sew this way than with the gusset up. Like when I make my Catalinas and stuff, I feel like that's why my Catalina looks so good when I do my curves. Like, not to be brag, I'm not trying to brag, but this is the best way for curves, it really is. This is the way. If you don't have a cylinder arm, this is the way. I want a cylinder arm so bad. Hopefully I can get one in the next year or two. What I should do is save all my money from selling bags and put it towards one of those. But what happens is people come out with some cool materials that I just must have, and that's how I reinvest it. Are you trying to get feisty with me right here? Is that what you're trying to do? Not today. Alright, they're nice and snug. I'm going to trim this because it drives me crazy. Probably I should have done black thread for this if I was thinking ahead and not nervous for my life, but I will say, if you're thinking about doing live stuff, just do it. The first time will suck, I'm not going to lie. It's nerve-wracking the first time, but after that, it's pretty good. It's fun. Okay. Okay, and because we did the binding the same way, where the raw edge is basically towards the gusset, it should be pretty nice. I'm just singeing my edges when we turn it. All right, you ready? Moment of truth. Let's unzip this. Please let this have worked nicely with the zipper. That's really what I'm worried about, is the zipper. We might have to top stitch the zipper down like this. We're gonna try just to fold it though. You can use a blow dryer if your vinyl is more stiff before you turn it out. But look how easy that was. Okay. There's something to be said for Nancy's TPU. Okay, there we go. Try to fold your binding towards your gusset, not your front or back. It won't totally work, but we got just a smidge of a little That is not bad at all. I like to roll them. Roll, roll, roll. Sorry if you hear a zipper. It's spring break, so my husband gave them whistles. Why? Because he's not here, that's why. Okay. So you probably could have added even more interfacing if you want that stiffer right here, Robert. Yeah, you could do a Decaville light or even a heavy, honestly. Okay, that looks great. See? I just have a little smidge of a smidgy, but I think I can... No, I can't do nothing about it. I need to calm down. It's fine. All right, now we're gonna fold this. Fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it. Okay. It's still rounded, so I don't think I need to top stitch it down, honestly. I mean, you could, but I'm not gonna, I don't think. Let's see, it's zipped. Oh, the zip's good. So I just keep playing with this part, and I just keep, you know, you can get your little presser pliers and press at the hard, like right here is probably a good place. If I was going to top stitch, where, how, why? Okay, if I was going to top stitch, I would top stitch just here, okay, to hold this part. Now I bound it, so I was thinking like, how would I do that? You would see your binding, so maybe do a binding that matches your zipper tape. But then you just fold it, okay? You just fold it and then top stitch just right along where the vinyl and the, like I could do it on this one, but I used black, so I'm not gonna, because it's rounded enough. I think it's super round. It stays out of the way of the zipper. It's great. I would probably, on my next one, add interfacing on this too. See how it's just a little soft? I like it more stiff like this. Okay. But she's cute. She is cute. Yeah. But that's how you'd have to top stitch right here if you wanted to totally hold that down out of the way. Because we have a longer zipper too, you know, it's cute. Turned out good. So I'm going to make the strap now. We will finish with the strap. This doesn't take too long, besides waiting for the glue to dry a little. Okay. Strap pieces are our main piece. Our side piece here, I'm going to do my 2 covers. And I always add a fun tag on my, oh, sorry. There we go. Oh, thanks, Erin. Can you show how you finish up the bag binding again? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Just message me on that part. Erica, would you use both your 1181 and your cylinder arm if you had one, or just the cylinder arm? I know someone that has a cylinder arm and they wanted a flat bed. Even though you can put the table on, it gets caught a lot. Yeah, the tan vinyl is Sienna Clay from Mormino. So I would keep both. Personally, I'm gonna have both machines. And again, the top stitches I would only top stitch like right here, like from here around here, if you wanted to do that. But I'm not gonna do that. Okay, let's go ahead and do the strap. Let me move it back over here. Okay. So we are gonna have to take our main drag here. Take your little end cover, and I've edge painted 3 of these edges. One of them will be hidden underneath, so I'm going to go ahead and add some double stick tape. on, and we'll do the two edges of this, the strap end. Take off the tape here. And then just kind of evenly put it in the middle here. You see? That's kind of how I do it. Like, you basically want these two ends to line up straight. So when you sew across it, it'll catch the back and the front. Perfect. Okay. Now we're gonna stitch across here. I'm gonna top stitch. Okay. And I am gonna back stitch on this one. Just once. Alright, and then we'll back stitch here at the end. Okay, come up. And then I will singe, the heat seal these ends here. And see, I didn't edge paint this edge because it's going to be hidden under and folded like that. So I just did this top and the sides. Okay. Now you're going to take your buckle slider, strap adjuster, whatever you call this. Okay. And you're going to thread this through the middle. We're basically going to put this smooth side, not the side with the ends here, the smooth curve, up. Take your strap, okay, top stitch part pointing toward you. Put it up through the back, over your bar, and down. Okay, just like that. So we're grabbing that bar essentially, and then now our edge painted edge is on top. Our edge that is not edge painted is in the back, and it'll go back there. We don't have to worry about it. So now we're going to attach this, and I'm going to just slide it down to where it's like that. And now I can sew, and I'll sew this on right here. And you can even do a rivet if you want. I'm not gonna, it'll be fine. Just like this. So we'll do the same kind of top stitching we did on the one side. You could even wait and just do two if you want. Go ahead and heat seal your edges here. I think maybe we should put 2 rivets right here. We should. Let's make this durable. Then Nancy can switch it from bags too. I love doing that. All right, I'm just going to use my silver marking pen to mark center marks that look about, I'm just going to make them a little bit more in. Because you got to account for your cap, you know? Okay. There's our marks. Go ahead and hole punch. I got this from like Harbor Freight, cheap, $8. Actually, I think my brother got it for me. It's getting dull. I need a new one. I've had it like 2 years. Is this something that you can sharpen? I have no clue. But I really only use the one hole, you know. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to use my, well, maybe you want to see this part. Let me get some rivets. Okay, rivets. We're gonna put a rivet through the hole, just like that. That'll look nice. All right, I put the backs on. There's the front. Now we're going to use the press. Okay. Nice. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll pretty much be held out of the way anyways, but now what you're gonna do with our, oh, I know. Yeah, it's gotta be hard if you're left-handed. Hi from Spain, Lorena. Welcome. Oh, that's a great idea, Stacy. Stacy added 1 inch to the width of her zipper gusset and then cut that in half to make 2 zipper panels. It really helped with the front binding. Oh, you haven't? Tori had a problem with your flatbed? Somebody said their poles were getting, like, stuff gets stuck, the clips get stuck in like a gap. I can't remember who said that. Segovia. Awesome. You can actually sharpen them. They make punch sharpeners for them. I will look that up. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so we're gonna put our strap end down. Okay, down like this. And you need to thread your rectangle ring. Now, I didn't have 2 rectangle rings. I only had 2 slide adjusters. So I'm just gonna remove this slide adjuster, because that's all I can do at this point. I didn't have one. I don't really carry much antique bronze, which I don't know why. I love it. Mostly I'm a rainbow person. Okay, we're gonna thread this through the end here, okay? Make sure you put the seam, if you have a seam on there, put it up so that it will be encased like that. Are you seeing this? Yeah, you're seeing it. Okay, there's that. Now you're gonna take this end and thread it back up through here and back over the hump again. Okay, so now you should have this rectangle ring, this edge, okay? Now, this edge that is raw is where we're gonna put this for our swivel clasp. Go ahead and thread your swivel clasp first. Okay. Now we're gonna add glue. I like to use Fabri-Tac. This stuff dries pretty fast, it's just thick. So put a thin layer on here. Put some on this side too. Okay. Now lay your webbing right in the middle. Make sure it's centered. And you could probably even go down a little bit more if you wanted. Maybe like right there. Now I'm not gonna add my woven label on this end. I'm gonna add it on the other end because I think the other end is meant to be attached to the top that you would see. But I like to put it on the back side anyway, so just like a little reminder to your friend. Okay, and make sure these are lined up pretty well, because when we top stitch this is when, you know, you'll see. You gotta make sure that your stitch isn't like back off this and it's not attached. So you're just gonna, this only needs a little bit to dry, to be honest with you. It's pretty good. I've seen people do rivets right here. There's all kinds of stuff you could do. All right, now we are going to thread this smaller piece through this rectangle ring here, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and baste this together on this edge. Make sure they're lined up well. All right, now this edge, this raw edge, is what will go into our other strap end. And we'll also be adding this label to tie it all together. Let's go ahead and thread your swivel clasp again. Here we go. Add your glue. And with this Fabri-Tac, make sure you always keep your lid handy, your little cover, because it does dry pretty fast and you need to make sure you put your lid back on. Okay, put that lid on. Okay. Now go ahead and line this up the same as you did the other. The only difference is we're going to fold this to where it would line up. Kind of pull this, you want your seam to be out. There we go. Okay, make sure these line up back here. And this one is kind of, there we go. Go ahead and clip that, and then I'm going to just pull up this very edge and tuck my label under there, my woven one. Okay, make sure you're putting your label on the right side. So this is up, okay, and this is how the thing will be on me. I don't want to put the woven label right here where everyone can see. I kind of want to tuck it underneath for her. So, and the Mormino labels are 1.5 inches wide, so they fit her labels perfectly under the webbing if you're using 1.5 webbing. Okay, see? That's how it'll be, but it'll be onto her chest, so she won't, you know, it's just a little reminder. I'm all about that. Okay. We'll let this guy dry a little bit, smush him down, especially up here. This strap is cute. I would just buy the strap, honestly. All right, we're gonna top stitch this one. Make sure your clasp is up. I mean your swivel. I'm using the wrong words. Your strap adjuster, right side up, and then this is where you'll top stitch. So what I like to do, get my little ruler, and I get a chalk. All I have is this for chalk. It sucks. I can't wait to get my one from Tammy. Oh, are you looking at my zipper tape, Candace? My zipper waterfall? Yeah, I gotta clean it one day. I know. We're not judgy Jonies here. Okay, I'm gonna take my ruler and go point to point. So you see this point right here? We're gonna make a straight edge from this point to this point, and I'm gonna draw it with a chalk line so that it is pretty straight. Because we're gonna top stitch across that part. Now be careful when you sew down these sides here, because this tape is kind of in there, and it can easily push your stitch off the edge, right? And then you'll be upset because it's not where you want. But I do start right here at this corner, okay? And you can hand crank down here if you want. Make sure you're at a top stitch length. Okay. I think I'll be okay to use my pedal. Now when you're coming down, don't come all the way down to this corner, because your foot, I mean, you could use a zipper foot and you'd be probably fine to get right up next to it, but I don't have my zipper foot. So I'm just gonna go one more stitch so that when I rotate, my foot will go right along this hardware. And you can pull your thread to the back because I'm going to tie off on the back and just singe it. Okay. Now let's go straight across. Now this is where you have to be careful because when you come back down, your foot is going to be on your vinyl and your hardware, okay? And that can cause, your feet can bite into your hardware and your vinyl and rip it. So get a piece of waterproof canvas and just cover it and protect it, okay? And I'm going to personally hand crank. Don't hold on to this waterproof canvas, okay? Because you could potentially make your stitch length shorter. You want it to walk along. And the plastic part of my waterproof canvas is what's touching my vinyl, so it's more grippy. I'm just gonna hand crank until I clear my foot from the edge of my, okay? So it cleared the hardware down here. So now we're gonna go back to this corner, and where we drew that chalk line is kind of where we're wanting to go to, okay? And if you gotta fudge it a little and move your foot, if your stitch is a little shorter, it's okay. Now we're gonna come back this way with along our chalk line, okay? And go back into this beginning hole. That's where we want our thread to go. One more. Lands perfectly. Okay, with our needle down, now we're gonna rotate this. We're gonna come up this slanted edge, okay? And so we're basically top stitching this slanted edge. I got this when we were testing this pattern. Nikki Makes. She did this and it was so cute. This pattern of sewing it on. I loved it. Okay. I'm just making sure my stitch isn't going to come too far and I can buzz back down. Especially since I'm using a contrasting thread, I'm just trying to make it as nice as possible. And then we're going to end in this corner hole. Okay. And then pull that free. Give yourself a little bit of tail, thread tail, so you can pull it to the back. Okay? So, oh, I hope it didn't freeze. Sorry about that. It told me my battery was low. But there you go. Hopefully you can see now. Looks pretty nice. Let me grab my charger. We'll just plug in. It's because I moved my camera. Yeah, it's unfrozen because I told it I understood my battery was low. Okay, pull our thread tails to the back on our ending hole. Okay. And then I always tie 3 knots. Maybe that'll work for you, maybe it won't. But tie them tight. Tight like a tiger. Okay. Let's go ahead and singe these. Okay. There she is, nice and pretty. And then you can add, I'll probably add 2 rivets here, but this side's kind of thin since it's the single layer of webbing. That looks nice though. Huh? All right, now let's do the other side. Make sure you're top stitching on the side without the woven label if that's what you're doing. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna draw that line with my chalk and my ruler. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Sorry about that, Rosemary. My battery was low. I had to plug in my phone. Okay. Draw a little line. It's kind of crooked, isn't it? Edge to edge. Yeah, what's going on here? I guess that's right. All right, same thing. We're gonna start over in this corner where the chalk. Now there is 2 layers of seatbelt webbing in here, so be careful with that. With your foot going off the edge, because it could very easily. You might want to hand crank. And I'm not back stitching the first stitch. You could, but I'm gonna pull to the back end. Tie off and one more. Okay. Rotate, and then our foot should go right along the hardware. One more stitch. Right there, that's good. Okay. Pull my thread to the back. All right. Here we go again with our foot being right on our hardware and our vinyl. So just put your piece of waterproof canvas and walk this down. Do not hold on to your waterproof canvas. Let it float around. We're going all the way down to this other point. Okay. Maybe one more. Yep. All right, now we're going to straight across. And you're going to want to go until you're in the beginning hole, the beginning stitch. Okay? Then you can go up the slanted area. Especially because it's a double layer of seatbelt webbing. It's kind of thick. All right, and we're just gonna stop down here in this other hole, just like the last one. Okay, and then we can pull our threads to the back and tie them off. I'll probably redo this off camera here. I want to show you it on. Got that one done. So let's hook it up. Oh, you're welcome. I'll keep doing it here. As soon as I get 1,000 subscribers, we can do even more. We're kind of limited until then. Hopefully I can figure out a way to save it. I'm gonna try. All right, let's hook up this bad boy. So I am 5'8", 5'9", about 185. Okay. Oh my goodness. Look at how cute. I'm just gonna tighten it a little bit here. I will say for crossbody bag, this is so comfortable. Let me tighten it a little bit. Here we go. So that looks nice. It curves well. It looks great, right? Now, if we wanted to wear it on our back, if we were a back wearer, how would we wear it? I think like this. Yeah. So there's that. That's comfortable, you know? Plus it's like a bigger strap. It's good. But this is the way I prefer it. That way. And then you can just get right in there. Put your stuff. See how it opens a little more with that zipper longer? It's nice. Put all your stuff in there. Perfect. Let's see if the water bottle fits. Oh, yes. It does. Beautiful. Look at that. Kind of pushes a little on the gusset, but a whole bottle of water fits in there. Amazing. Told you it was comfy. Yeah, it really is comfy. Thank you, friends. All right, that's it. I'm going to work on getting this saved where everybody can look at it. You could add your rivets this way or this way. You could add one here if you wanted to get rivet crazy. Add one here. I'm not going to do all that though. Unnecessary. Candace wants an increased version. I've never done that. Like 120% or something. You know who just did that? Robert made one, I think, like that. Okay, is it an extra 2 inches on both sides? No, we just made the whole zipper 2 inches longer than the pattern. And we made the zipper panel 2 inches longer to match the length of the zipper. On the gusset, we took away 2 inches so that it still fits the actual panel when we sew it on, okay? That's what we did. So, worked out well. I just like I have bigger hands, so this is easier for me to put my phone in and out. Inside looks nice. It's waterproof canvas for our lining. Nice. And it zips. Great. That's it. That's the live. The first inaugural YouTube live. I do prefer lives because I don't have to edit, so hopefully we'll get up in the next month or two. We can get up to 1,000 on here. Oh, Robert did the Lynn Sport, but in this style. Oh, that's what it was. How about a video of that bucket bag you did? Which bucket bag, Erica? I've done too many. I'm not sure. The ones around the holiday season? Thank you, friends. I don't know which bucket bag. The Megan bucket bag from Love You So. She did say I could do tutorials, so I'll definitely be down with that. All right, I gotta add this into Nancy's box. She's got a box coming. Yes, the first live is done. It'll be better here for people to watch than Instagram. I'll try to even add timestamps, maybe. I'm getting crazy now. I have no clue how to do that, but. The spring roll. Oh, the one I made for my mom? That was, oh, it's from Lynn's Handmade. I forget now, but yeah. You know, I'm glad you said that because I actually have a few things here. I have the spring roll pouch cut out and ready to be sewn for a tutorial. So, yeah, quality's way better here, I bet. I'll get to it eventually. I gotta do a lot of court stuff here soon and starting trials, so I will try to get to it though. And I'm still working on this. Rochelle at Yazkie Handmade, we're switching bags. This one is hers. And I get one of her famous heart bags. It's cute. Let's see. Oh, the gifts for my judges. That's the Megan Bucket bag by Love You So. Yeah, that one's pretty simple. I could add that too. I have a whole list of things, you know. So, look at those nice curves. She's curvy, girl. Love it. I need to send you a box. You sending me a box? Oh, and Anna's surprise should be there Friday. It said the 17th through the 21st. So, okay, bye. Thanks, friends. All right, I think I'm gonna go. I'm hungry. There's nothing to eat. What am I gonna eat? Jeez. Oh, my mom's chicken Alfredo from last night. Yes. Okay, I will work on uploading this today. I will figure it out today.